I just received this box in the mail. Oh man, look at this.
Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to do a continuance on our mini-series on soft stone carving. And there he is. Ooh, it's been We had started a series, soft stone carving. The last episode we did Thor's hammer out of slate. Came up pretty good. I like it. Slate. It's amazing. Today we're going to finish up a project we actually started this spring with you all. We showed burning out a pipe stem for a Hobbit style pipe out of ash. So now we have the stem. The stem is good and dry. It's time to make a bowl for it. And to do that, I'm going to use one of my favorite carving materials, pipestone. This is generally how you find it, not at the quarry obviously, but when you're out at a powwow or other function that somebody might be selling pieces of it. It comes in slabs like that, you know, 1 inch to 2 inches varying, but usually about that thickness. As I mentioned in the video on slate, different stones come in different hardnesses depending upon the vein that you're working out of. Sometimes this pipestone can be very, very hard and it's not a lot of fun to carve, but other times it comes out so soft you can carve it with a pocket knife. This is another piece of it. This is a dandy because non-typical. It's a little thicker than you usually find it. I wanted to do a carving, you know, like a sculpture out of pipestone, and I wanted something thicker than what I've been used to, so I just happened across this piece out in Arizona and I had to have it. Of course, the old bells went off at the airport when they should be used to it in Arizona, right? This is the piece I'm going to use for the Hobbit pipe. I'm going to cut it out of this area. It's just thick enough, and I can tell by the waxy feel of it that this is going to carve really nicely. That includes sawing it out and everything, so stick with us and we'll see how it comes out. Don't forget to hit subscribe if you haven't already, and the like button's always handy. I'm going to tip you just a bit. And there. Better. Less of me, more of it. I'm going to try and establish a bit of a baseline here for centering things. Stem's going in here. Like this, basically. Okay, we got it in good and tight. I put a slightly coarser blade in here. This is a softer stone than slate. Doesn't need as fine a blade. The dust is quite heavy, and if I do things by hand, shouldn't need a dust collection. You can see it falling very fast. It's very fine dust, and it makes a great pigment as a paint. Certainly will redden up a surface, which is why I'm wearing my cranberry colored shirt instead of a white one. You can tell the rate it's going through this, it's quite soft. I save every bit of this. I can make a small pipe out of this. I could make beads out of that. So many things. There's hardly any waste. Now, examining the piece after the cut, I notice a line here, and I wonder if that's a crack. It could be. But put a little water on that. It went many places, but what I was curious, if that had been a crack, it would travel up this line. I'm not seeing it happen. I think it's solid. It's solid. This is going to be where the stem goes in, the socket for the stem. So I'm going to establish that. Pencil, roughly. Something like that. And this pipe is intended for a faithful friend of ours, Hobbiton Piper.
Hobbiton Piper Kevin here, coming to you from the heartland of America in Missouri.
He's got a great channel on enjoying the pleasures of a pipe and tobacco. You gotta check it out. Bearing that in mind, knowing that he's going to smoke tobacco out of it, I want to make the bowl big enough to be worth his while. So right now I'm just kind of getting rough ideas of where I want to position everything. And then again with the center line going straight, you can see how the top kind of goes off at an angle. It's like with the slate, you want to pad it. You put it in a hard vise like this so you get plenty of grip without chipping it. Okay, more lines. Getting closer. I like to saw as much off as possible so that I have more little pieces to put in my bucket of pieces. These will end up beads or pendants or whatever. We've got it squared up pretty good now, so it's time for a few more lines. I guess I've used this for that before. So there's the socket for the stem, kind of defined here. The bowl nice and square, but we don't want a square bowl. We want a round one. Nice thing about stone as opposed to wood and bone and things like that is that there's very little, if any, grain to worry about. It's not completely round yet, of course, but getting well on its way. I don't like to go too far on one corner without catching the other corners up and then take them all down together. It's coming out pretty good. Getting this to shape, it's kind of like preparing the canvas. Fun starts soon. Hope you're having fun. Hit the like button. Apparently, if you hit the like button, then other people can find our channel easier. Well, we were off to a really good start with this pipe. Although, we ran into a glitch. The shape is good, everything's working out just perfect. But, as in dealing with organic materials, sometimes you find surprises. And in this one, I found a series of cracks that pretty much are a showstopper. So, you run into this with wood, whether it's a piece of hardware that you find in the log or a knot or a pitch pocket or a crack or whatever. Find it in bones, antler, and ivory. You'll get delaminations, even with horn and so forth. You never know what you're going to get into until you get into it. And sometimes you put a lot of labor into it and then you find out. This one is a good example. This pencil line represents a crack that goes all the way around the piece. So eventually, and I'm afraid that even if I got it all carved in one piece and everything, when it was smoked, the heat from the, from being used would cause expansion. Perhaps that piece would fall right off. It's just too bad. That big piece of stone that I took it off of is still a beautiful piece to work with. Just I'm not quite comfortable using it for pipe. It may end up as a sculpture of another sort. So I've got this other piece here, and it's more typical of what you'd find thickness wise. It too had a crack, but only one. And I gave it a couple cracks with the soft mallet. Wouldn't want to hit this with a steel mallet or anything. The shock waves are totally different, but I whacked it a couple of times. One more pulls it apart. Now on this one, you can see this weathered looking surface shows that crack has been a crack for a long, long time, and it just needed to be popped apart. So now I'm pretty confident that one of the two of these is going to end up a really nice pipe. The process of what I'm going to go through is pretty much the same as what I did. I'm not going to drag you through all that, but once I get the shape sawn out, we'll pick it up again. I've got this one cut out now. Did notice that this stone is a wee bit harder than the other stone, but it's still working quite nicely, and I don't see any flaws or cracks in it. Because of the hardness of this piece of pipestone, I've decided to use this burr. It's got little carbide tip teeth all over it. I love this style a lot. It's Middle Earthish. Seems like everywhere you go, you search for Hobbit pipes. Most of them look just like the ones in the movie, but that doesn't mean that's the only Hobbit pipes there are. This is a Stockman original. This drill will get me right down to about where I need to be. All I have to do is sight down these lines that I just drew. So we've got the hole drilled. That's a trick. But following the lines brought me to where I needed to be, and so I've got a nice clean junction down way down here. So now I'm going to start carving out the actual bowl, the chamber. By moving it in a spiral like that, it keeps it open around the teeth so it can self-clear and gag up. If the teeth get gagged up, then they can't cut, they fill up. Some sacrifice I'm using this knife to finish the bowl out. It has the right sweep on the edge of the end of the blade. It's sharp. Won't be for long probably. But I can sharpen it again once this job is done. And it's making a nice smooth interior. This is going to be the stem. You saw the process of making that. Now I've checked down my little index here. I'm going to try 5/16. The hole's already drilled. It's just a matter of reaming it out a little bit. Stem. It's not the final fitting, but seems to work. I'm just going to crown the socket here. Makes it easier to get the stem in, and it keeps the edges from chipping out. Something likewise up here. Now the fun begins. Now I'm going to put a hole through here. I'm going to make it so we can hang things from it. A tamper. My dog's downstairs wondering who I'm talking to. For years, I'm real careful not to let anybody catch me talking to myself. Now look at me. But I'm not really talking to myself, am I? Am I? Oh, a lot of loyal supporters and fans. I appreciate you guys' subscriptions so much. Your time and your comments. Lots of fun. Any ideas, throw them my way. We'd love to hear what you got to say. Okay, so I've got these all cut and scraped down, carved. I'm going to hit them slightly with a little sandpaper, 400 grit. I don't want to use anything too abrasive. I got all the veining in. Kind of looks like a bundle of tobacco. How appropriate. And Max had a great idea, since this pipe is coming from the Shire of New Hampshire. We put in amongst the leaf motif a maple leaf, because we do the maple syrup thing up here. I'm going to outline this and start taking the background away, scraping down the background a little bit. That's better. We got 220. Pretty much there. The only thing I need to do is to put in the veins on the maple leaf and then hit it with some finer sandpaper. Very pleased with the outcome. This pipestone did turn out to be considerably harder than the last piece I worked on, but it also worked well. Took good detail. Didn't chip out or anything. Slate would tend to flake a little more. Thankful for that, and I'm thankful to even be able to work on such a beautiful piece of stone from Minnesota, Pipestone, Minnesota, all the way here to New Hampshire. Good times, good times. I'm happy to be making this for somebody who truly appreciates a good pipe. Next thing I want to do is put a little bear oil on it and watch the colors change. Don't want a ton of it. And it changed a nice color, huh? Darker reddish brown. I want it to get into all the cracks and crevices, but not the bowl. Tastes like a barbecue. Let's cut just about everybody covered. So I've got the pipe all done and oiled up with bear grease. And I think we're just about done with that. Now what I got to do is clean up the stem. Still rough from when I made it, and get the limb nubs and so forth. I want the stick to remain a stick. I want it to look like it's from the earth, not like a manufactured stem. I think it's more in keeping with the spirit of Middle Earth and the hobbits in general. But I do want to take the nubs down a bit. Okay, that's pretty good. I have some 220. It's not terribly aggressive, but it'll clean this wood up nice and it still leaves the character of the stick. It's feeling nice and silky. And now I'm going to buff it with superfine 4/0 steel wool. And that gives it a lovely satin sheen. A little warthog tusk here that I'm going to use for burnisher. You should be seeing it pick up a shine. Now it's smooth like glass. So there it is put together. Stem is very long, but that'll cool the smoke off. I bet he'll like it. Every good pipe needs a tamper, so we're gonna make a tamper out of a deer tine. Well, there you have it. It's all put together now and ready to smoke. And I'd like to thank you all for letting me take you through the process of making a pipe out of pipestone. It was an honor to be able to work with such a special material. I hope it was interesting for you folks. Let me know in the comments section. Love to hear from you. And if you want to see this pipe in use, or if you had a hard day and need something to calm you down, check out Hobbiton Piper. So chill. Well, I hope he likes it. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Hit the like button too.